Happy New Year, people, and welcome back to the first episode of Challenge Player 1 in 2025. This is a show where myself and Yuri get people to come on who we're really vibing with, who we mess with, people who are doing stuff in the community, no matter what facet or area it is. But the one thing that brings us all together is gaming. I love speaking to people about games. Gaming, video games in general has been my lifeblood from when I was a kid. And so it only makes sense to bring people who also share the same passion and interest. And today I have someone who has had a very, very good 2024. You know, he's created a brand and a name for himself doing something that I feel like a lot of us love to do. And also at the same time, he is just a wonderful kindred spirit. When you meet him, it's all love, and he's very reflective of, I feel like, how more people should be like in this day and age, especially within whatever community you're in. So I am here with none other than my brother, Toobizy. How are you, my boy?
What's going on, my brother?
Thank you for No, man,
Thank you for
it's
the
important.
intro, man. I do appreciate that, man. I'm blessed. I'm grateful to be here, obviously amidst, yourself and the rest of the team. Like, we've spoken about this actually
For a minute.
Yeah. I watched you at the train station.
Yes.
And you told me that this is obviously something that you're passionate about, and the type of people that you obviously want on the show and stuff like that. So I'm just grateful to be here, man. I'm grateful to be here.
Thank you for that. That was even that's even nuts, because I was even like, oh my days, we did have that conversation
a while ago.
Time ago. That was like
ago.
early. I think it was like midsummer last year, maybe.
Yeah.
So the fact, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That was really good. How have you been?
Come on. I've been blessed. I've been blessed, bro. Yeah, just been resting. Obviously, from the year that we've had it's been crazy. It's been crazy. Obviously, like doing like events and content creating and navigating myself around like this space. It's been a journey. It's been a journey to say the least. But I think above all of that, like I've been good. I've been good, and I think that's just the main thing, man. You gotta make sure that you're good first, before you can start to execute any form of creativity that you're gonna do. So yeah, man, I've been blessed, man. Can't complain. Yeah.
That's the thing. I think that's one of the most important things that you even just said now, is just like being able to feel good within yourself first.
Yes.
Before you even venture within anything else. Because I've never had moments of like that where I'm like, I actually don't feel mentally there or in the right space.
Yeah.
And that even affects everything that you create or even just do moving forward. So that's really important.
Yeah.
You've almost been doing content creation now for the last 5 years now.
Yes.
March it will be 5 years.
Yes.
So how has that been for you? Content creating for 5 years. What do you feel like has been probably one of the most important things you've learned within that space?
I say one of the most important things I've learned about content creating, a lot of it actually isn't even to do with the content. It's to do with how you nurture and how you grow your community. I feel that brings the best out of you. And being a creative, it's like you can cook ideas in your sleep. Like you can come up with amazing ideas from going to the shop, from playing a game, from looking at other people's art. Like it's easy for us, obviously creative wise, to just come up with all of this type of things. But the one most important thing for me is just locking in with the people that appreciate the content and anything creative that you put out. Like from doing it for coming up to 5 years, it's one of those things where you can put your ideas out, but like how does it resonate with people? Like what do people kind of get from it? Is do they enjoy watching it? What type of content do you enjoy watching? Is that something that you can relate back to your audience? And I just love people. I love people, man. So, translating that to doing content creating for me is like, man, like I want people to love the same stuff I love. I love games. I love, deep diving in things and playing them and enjoying and winning and beating people and just all of that type of stuff, man. Like, all of that stuff is kind of what has kind of created me. You know what I mean? Like I love all of that. So yeah, man, I'd say that is the most important thing for me, man. It's just community and loving what you do, loving the people that enjoy what you love. Yeah,
I think even like it's bringing those core memories to life in a different way. And it's one of them ones where even, for example, like I have memories of like going to my cousin's house and all of us are there, we're playing whatever, Soul Calibur, we're passing the pad, or all of them things, we're sleeping over. And it's like those are the moments. Or even like when you meet someone that has similar taste or the same taste. Like I remember the first time me and my boy connected over Kingdom Hearts 2 and we're like, what? Like, you like that as well? and we're all just we're gassed and having those conversations,
yeah.
and even like the same way you're like you love the community and you just love bringing people together, which is why you have, let's say, you have the Lan Party, which is what we're gonna get into soon. But then it's the similar thing with myself. I'm like, I love talking to people about games, which is why Challenge Player One kind of brought itself to life. The stuff you create is always a reflection of you and your experiences.
Yes.
Which I think is good, which is a beautiful segue to the Lan Party. Hoping, so you just had a Lan Party 5?
Yes, our 5th one.
How has that been?
It's been a journey, man. Like, you know, we did 3 in 2023.
Yeah.
That was obviously hosted at the Rebel Gaming Sphere. And we did our first one back in, I think, 2022 in like an office space, in a random office space in Deptford. And like, it went off. This was kind of like post-COVID, you know, people are allowed to kind of come out and enjoy and whatnot. And yeah, like, you know, for me, it was, I miss people. I miss being around people. It's all good and well that we can stream and you can Instagram, and for me, like, the digital age it's a little bit of a gift and a curse. So, you know, like, obviously kind of starting it off was just bringing people together, like-minded, like myself, yourself, having fun, playing games. Exactly what you said, actually, about going to your cousin's house. Like, for me, what birthed it was, I love going to family functions, whether it's a barbecue, whether it's, you know, wedding or something, and you're at your cousin's house, and while mum and dad are chatting away, shocking out to, you know what I mean, red rat or doing whatever they're doing, you find a room and like you kind of open the door and you see all the cousins in there,
the pad,
one's on the pad, and then you gotta kind of explain, I'm so-and-so's mum's son. And then they say, so you're
cool. You're my cousin, like,
you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, yeah, man, take a seat, come on. And that for me, it's like, you can't replicate that feeling, bro. You can't replicate that feeling. It's like, and you know, even when mum's like, it's time to go, you're like, nah,
please, like, even please. Crying in the whip,
you're like, please,
everyone's still here, like, please,
So yeah, and then moving forward, me and my boys, we used to link up every Thursday to watch Naruto. This was like when we were in secondary school. We used to link up every Thursday to watch Naruto, and this was on Cartoon Network. It's before we was even like heavy on the anime. And we were just like, we've been doing it for, I'd say, about 15 years. We get together once a week, like, pretty much. It's slowed down a little bit now, but like, we used to get together every single week. Like, and my mum was like, look, with all of the madness that's happening on the roads, I'm happy that that you, like, young men are in a safe space. She used to make us like food, pancakes, coke float, all of this mad, like just this sick stuff, man. And you know, RIP, like, she's not with us anymore.
Oh, God bless.
But she used to just love us getting together, and that to me is what fueled, like, you know, when we lost her, for me it was very important that we just kept that tradition up. Our boys were like, this doesn't stop, basically. You know what I mean? Like, we still get together. So
even go harder, even more.
Exactly. So yeah, man, like, we were just like, look, do you know what? Let's bring this to the masses, and like, I don't know, hopefully people will like it. And that is what has happened for 5 events now. So yeah, to answer your question, just doing the 5th one, it was a bit of a struggle, obviously, to not find a venue for a year, but we managed to lock one in, and it was just amazing, bro.
It was good. Like, the venue space was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Like, it really had that perfect blend of, this is the room for everyone to shubs. This is the room for everyone to game. If you want to eat a 1-2 thing, it's right there.
Yes.
Like, you really sectioned it off nicely.
Yeah.
Which was really nice. And I think even like when I walked in heavily yacked, I was like, raw, like, this is nice. And that was the first one I went to.
Yeah.
So for me, I had an amazing time, because I was like, this is sick.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people would want a space where you can shubs and dance and do what you need to do. But if you want to play a 1-2 Street Fighter or a Tekken or Sparking Zero or whatever, the options are there. So I think that's sick. We were even talking before we even started recording about, like, the lost art of spaces that we grew up on. So like Trocadero, like Bandai Namco. Like, talk to me about the essence of that and how it kind of links in with the Lan Party.
Yeah. So, you know, growing up, we had your Trocadero, we had Sega World, we had arcades, or even like bars where they would have an arcade cabinet randomly in there, like a Street Fighter or Alpha 2 or a Marvel vs. Capcom or even like, you know, Time Crisis or just something.
Yeah.
And it was very much like, look, you know, I'm with the boys, like, you know, and like I've got like a £2 change, like just put it in, just have some fun. And you would have a laugh. You would just enjoy it. You don't know what on earth is going on some of the games, but it
You
was
don't care
just
about winning or losing.
yeah,
either,
man, yeah, it was just good fun. It was just good fun. And, you know, Trocadero was obviously, it harbored like that entire era for me. It's like, you know, you had your bumper cars, you had your arcade machines, you had your Sega, like there was so many different aspects to Trocadero that I was like, man, like people have left their house to come and play games and come and enjoy and just have a laugh and, you know, meet people that they've never met before and play games that they've never played games, but like they just really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And we, you know, we don't have that anymore. And the kids growing up today don't have that. And when we're explaining it to them, it's just like, they're just like, why, you know.
You see the confusion on their face as well a bit. You're like,
they're
what
like,
does that
really?
mean?
Yeah, like, that happened. And it's a bit heartbreaking, man.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I met a lot of friends from going to Trocadero, like, or even, you know, from dates to linking up with boys to just having fun up there. And because we don't have that anymore, I'm like, man, there's no one that is championing that now that we don't have it. So my thing is just that let's take the essence of what that used to provide for people, which was togetherness and bringing people together and having fun and sharing things that we all enjoyed. Why can't we, you know what I mean, why can't we have that now? So putting that all into like what the Lan Party is, putting it into that pot, but just adding to it a little bit more, you know, mixing the culture, you know, DJs, food, soul food that is, and, you know, drinks and stuff like that. It's like just changing the narrative a little bit more, because gamers are anyone now. Like, you know, whether you're into fashion, you can still play games. Whether you're a musician, you can still play games. Whether you know, work retail, you still play games. It doesn't matter who you are, what walk of life that you're walking.
Yeah.
We all just enjoy a bit of games. Let's just change the narrative a little bit more. We're not hunched over on the keyboard, you know what I mean, playing it, and like, nah, like we're just normal people. And that is pretty much what the Lan Party is.
It's a lost art though, isn't it? Like, I think it's crazy how there's spaces coming up now. Like, I find it a bit dystopic here, where there's spaces that are re-emerging, or even just new spaces like, oh, it's an indoor roller coaster, or like this new arcade is popping up, or this new like place where they've got all these games. And I'm like, that was Bandai Namco 15 years ago. That was Trocadero like 15, 20 years ago. Bro. Like, it's nothing new. But the way that it's a thing, oh, this is a new date spot. And I'm like, am I bugging here? Like, this is actually crazy. Like these places were here. Like, they were just gone. And it's nuts. Like, I remember I went to Bandai Namco so often with my mum. Like, and it's like, it's one of them ones where I'm like, oh, like there's the PSP and the little grapple machine, like I'm trying to grab that, or even just going with like my family and friends or like my cousins and going to Trocadero and like there's a new Era hat store, like I want to grab. Like, there's certain experiences that I'm like, bro, we will never, like, you can't make that again. But then also at the same time, I'm even looking at it from a perspective of the younger generation, as you were saying, like when you're chatting to your younger cousins and you're like, yeah, like we had these spaces here, and they're like, what? Like, my sisters, they're like, yeah, I'm just going bowling, or I'm going here. And I'm like, nah, like we need to actually have
something, man.
These proper spaces. So I totally agree, man.